mentioned ice fishing, a lot of my subscribers asked me if I would demonstrate it because they've never done it. They're from the south, you know, never been ice fishing, don't know what's involved with it. So I'll explain. The most common practice is to use these little devices. They call them a tip-up. And here in this state, we can use 6 of them. And you have your line, and you set it up. We use shiners for bait, and when the fish takes it and pulls on a line, it fires off the flag. And sometimes when the action is hot and heavy, it's a lot of fun. You're running around, the flags are popping up. I'm not expecting much out of today. I've never fished this pond before, and it's the middle of the day. Normally I go out in the morning or the evening, but I just wanted to give it a test, check out my equipment, make sure it's operating correctly before I head out this coming weekend. So anyway, so the first thing I want to do is I want to know the depth of the water. I prefer to have my bait about 2 foot or so above the bottom. Most of the fish are looking for food along the bottom. So I got to find out what the depth of the water is. This here is called a sounder, and it's just a heavy lead weight that you clip on, and then I send it down the hole. If I set my shiner a couple feet above the bottom and then a fish takes it, I don't want to have to resound the hole every time I catch a fish. So on my line here, usually I have leader, just some clear monofilament. I've got, I don't know, 5-6 feet, and then this heavy cotton line, and I have a button. See that? And all I do is, first off, is I'm going to send the sounder down like that, and I'm going to keep sliding the button up until I hit bottom. Quite a bit of water here. Yeah, I'm sliding that button up the line until I hit bottom, and I haven't hit bottom yet. There's a lot of water here. There we go. So now I'm going to slide the button down until it's to the top of the water, and then I'm going to slide that down the distance that I want the shiner off the bottom, which is about that much. I'm going to wind this up till the button is right at my spool. Okay? When you set your tip up, if you have a big gust of wind, sometimes it'll blow it and set it off. You look down, your wheel might not be spinning, but the fish might not be taking off at that moment. Without having some indication like this button, I won't know if it was a wind flag or if I actually had a bite. But by having the button on there, when I look down the hole and I see that button is still right near my spool, I know nothing pulled the line out. If I don't see that button anywhere near my spool, I know something pulled the line out. And then I prepare to catch a fish. I'm going to put the hook just in front of the dorsal fin, just a little ways in. Send him down the hole. There he goes. I'm just going to set this up. And the button is right by the spool. I did my part. Now it's just up to the fish. Yeah. I wonder if I could catch one on some Vienna sausage. Well, that was a fun day of fishing. Had some pretty good action for a while. The weather held out for us. Now the snow is coming down. It's a good day for chowder, so that's what I'm going to make. The recipe I'm going to share with you here today, of course you can use a saltwater fish. Haddock or cod would be fantastic for it. When I'm using a filleted fish, I put the fish in there raw. But since I'm going to be using these bass here, I'm going to put them in a steamer for a little while just to cook them enough so I can peel the meat off the bones with a fork. We are only allowed to keep 2 bass through the ice here, so I kept 2, and then we released everything after that. And I was hoping to get a few decent sized pickerel, because pickerel's really good for this recipe, but the only pickerel I got were real tiny ones. I prefer to throw those back. Even though they are mighty tasty, I prefer not to mess with them. So I'll show you the ingredients that I'm using here. Very, very, very simple recipe to put together. All right, so here I got the couple of bass with the tail and the fins removed. Approximately 4 medium potatoes. I keep them in the water here so they don't turn brown. I'm going to fry up a little bit of bacon here. Oh, maybe 4, 5, 6 strips of bacon. About a half of a large onion. I might use 2 stalks of celery. I have 4 slices of Munster cheese. If you saw the recipe that I did in the past with the seafood stew, I used the cheese and I'll explain why. And about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter. And about a quart of chicken stock. That's about it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bass in the steamer on the wood stove over here. And while that's steaming, I'm going to fry up the bacon and get the rest of the stuff prepared. I'm going to saute the onions and the celery just a little bit here, just enough to make them tender. Okay, those are getting nice and soft, but not mushy. Just wanted to tenderize them a little bit. By steaming it like that, the meat just pulls right off the bones. Very nice. Bass, and like I said, the bullhead, they have nice big bone structure. They're very, very nice to work with. This is about the only way that I'll eat a pickerel. But their bones are much finer and they have a lot more bones. It's a lot more work. But the meat sure is tasty. Now I'm going to leave this meat in all different sized pieces. I don't want to break it apart any more than I have to. Now look at this. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Look at that. Just nice pieces of fish right there. Okay, first I'm going to put in the chicken broth. About a quart of chicken broth. The potatoes. The celery and the onion with the butter. And I'm going to let that simmer for a while till the potatoes become tender. Now there are several different ways that you can prepare this recipe. If you want your bacon and your bacon fat to be part of the chowder, you can simply start out cooking the bacon with the pot that you're intending to simmer the chowder in. Get your bacon cooked up, add the onions and the celery, saute them around a little bit in the bacon fat, then add your potatoes. You can saute that a little bit if you desire. You can add a carrot to it if you desire. Then put in your chicken broth, let it simmer till the potatoes are nice and tender but not too mushy. Then add your fish and your half and half. Just simmer it for maybe 10 minutes or so after that. Myself, I like to use the bacon crumbled on top. My bowl of chowder is very nice that way. So the way that I'm going to do it, as soon as these potatoes are nice and tender, I'm going to add the Munster cheese, put that in there. The only reason I'm using the cheese, it's not for the cheese flavor. The Munster cheese is very, very mild. It just breaks down, adds such a nice creamy texture to it. It's just wonderful. A while back I shared a seafood recipe where I was doing the same thing with the Munster cheese. Just wonderful. But again, I'm not putting it in there for the cheese flavor. And if I'm going to use a cheese, Munster would be the only one that I would choose. Yeah. So once all that cheese has been distributed throughout that chowder, then I'm going to add the half and half in the fish. I'm just going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes or so. Serve it up. Crumble the bacon on top. Good stuff. I just added the fish and 1 cup of half and half, and I had my camera on standby. Well, that was a good bonehead move, huh? I had the camera on standby when I was putting in the fish and the half and half. Oh well. I'm just going to let that heat thoroughly, 5-10 minutes. I'm going to serve it up. Put a little crumbled bacon on top. I wish I had some oyster crackers, but I'll crumble a bit of saltines. I like to put a good dose of black pepper in there. Lori's not the big fan of the black pepper, so I'm going to season it afterwards. Oh. Black pepper. Crumbled bacon. Saltine crackers. Smells delicious. Nice and creamy. You'd never know that cheese was in there. Disintegrated. Just gave it a little bit more body. Even a few more slices would be good. Let's give it a go. Potatoes are just right. Oh my God. This is outstanding. Give it a try. It's an outstanding chowder for something so easy to prepare. Don't even have to go to the fish market. Just go to the pond, catch and cook yourself some chowder. You won't be disappointed. It needs nothing. It's delicious. If you like this video, share it with your friends, folks. Give the chowder a try. All the best to you, and God bless.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go. There's a pokey way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss.